I've made a lot of videos on this topic, obviously, but I haven't made many recently, and that's because I've been completely checked out on Disney Star Wars. And Disney Star Wars continues to be the biggest blunder in the history of movies, and it's really hard to comprehend how they could mess it up this bad. It was such an easy thing for them to capitalize off of and make a lot of money off of, but they continue to let it spiral out of control. And it begins and ends with the failure of the sequel trilogy. That's what really this comes down to. Now, I know Star Wars Theory recently made a video talking about the failure of the sequel trilogy. And today we got the reports that Disney stock has had its worst day since, I think, 2001. And that was all based off of Disney Plus numbers not hitting the where they needed to hit. And that obviously ties into a little bit of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well. But ultimately, this is a company problem, and Disney is not going to fix it anytime soon. I have zero faith that they're going to fix this. And the reason I want to talk about this is because we've been in Orlando for a few weeks now with the Geeks and Gamers Friday Night Tights meetup that we had, which was fantastic. We've spent some time in the theme parks. Obviously, we have a theme park channel here at Geeks and Gamers called Park Hoppin', but we spent the majority of our time at Universal Studios because Universal Studios is crushing it. And we recently had one of our team members down here, Blabbering Collector, who's amazing, and she's a huge Harry Potter fan. And we wanted to take her to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter here at Universal because it's so well done. Now, I'm not even a Harry Potter guy, but I really do appreciate what they did with that world. It's truly amazing. And someone like me who's not into Harry Potter, I go into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in that area at Universal Studios, and it makes me want to know more about Harry Potter. That's how good it is. It's so well done. It's incredible. And then you have Galaxy's Edge at Disney World and at Disneyland. Now, I haven't been to either one of these lands in a long time. I've only been to each of them once, and I was so turned off by them. Now, just to have full disclosure, I've always been a huge theme park fan, and I've always been a huge Disney parks fan. I've always loved the Disney parks, and I still do have a lot of love for the Disney parks, but what Disney is doing has turned me off so much that I really have not gone there in a long time. Now, again, we're going to continue to go there. We're going to cover it because that's what we do at Geeks and Gamers, but on a fan level, I have not wanted to go to Disney in a long time. I went to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and at Disney World, and they both were so bad, and they did not represent Star Wars in any capacity. And it was so frustrating to me because this is something that when Disney bought Star Wars, I was so excited to see what the theme park element would be. And Universal has really done a good job with the Harry Potter aspect, but they also have Super Nintendo World coming very soon. And it's really putting Disney in a tough spot right now. This is a trickle-down effect. You didn't get a bad theme park when you were going to get a good sequel trilogy. That was never going to happen. You got a bad sequel trilogy, and that led to the bad theme park, and that led to the bad everything else that's gone on with Disney Star Wars because it was never going to be good in any direction because the leadership at Lucasfilm has failed. It's failed you. It's failed me. It's failed every single Star Wars fan out there. And that's why you have a show like Andor, which isn't the worst thing. I've only seen 3-4 episodes, I think. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not the best thing ever. And it didn't need to be either one of them. It didn't need to be the best thing ever. It just needed to be competent. And if you would have had the sequel trilogy doing what it needed to do and honoring George Lucas's creation, then you could have absolutely had a really decent success with Andor. It would have been something that people would have watched, generally speaking. It wouldn't have blown anyone away. It wouldn't have set any records, but it definitely would have had more eyes on it if you would have taken care of Star Wars fans. But now you're relying upon a bunch of people that spend all day on social media and put pronouns in their bio and go ahead and support the latest cause. And guess what? All of those weirdos that'll like all your tweets and they'll talk about how everybody's racist and sexist, none of them are watching Andor. None of them care. Because why? Because they were never interested in the first place. The only reason they showed any interest in Star Wars, the only reason they showed any interest whatsoever is because of the social justice propaganda that Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm were pushing. And now, when you actually need real fans that are invested, the people that stood in line at conventions all of those years, the people that created all of this canon because there was no Star Wars, the people that read all those books that you said don't mean anything, those people that would buy all those toys, you need those people to sit there and support something like Andor, and you don't have them. Now, obviously, you do have some fans. I'm not saying that no one's watching Star Wars. What I'm saying is that if you wouldn't have damaged this so bad by your arrogance and your disrespect of the fans, if you wouldn't have done that, then you would have had a lot more people watching Andor. A lot more people. Because, again, I've only seen 4 episodes, but I have heard from people. Generally, it seems like people are enjoying it. It's not great. It's okay. But that's all that fans needed if you were actually taking care of the sequel trilogy. If you were to take care of that, take care of the video games, give us those big tentpole video games, take care of the sequel trilogy, give us the top-end stuff. And of course, no, you're not going to have record-breaking numbers for something like Andor, but you certainly would have better numbers than you have now. So you did this to yourself, and you're also doing it with the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now with all of these Disney Plus shows. They're a disaster. It's just not good. And I don't know when it's ever going to get good, if ever. I have no faith, especially in Lucasfilm, but I don't have a lot of faith in Disney in general. But Lucasfilm, man, guys, give up having hope. It's not going to happen. If you like it, that's your prerogative. I fully support you watching and enjoying whatever you want. That is not what I'm saying here. I am saying the people that continue to go, well, I heard a rumor about it. I've been down that path. I've been down the path of, I think this is going to happen. I heard this is going to happen. Until it happens, there's no reason to entertain that stuff. None whatsoever. So this is where we are with Disney Star Wars. They're losing stock. They're losing fans. The fans that they needed are not there. The pronoun and bio crowd that will like and retweet and tell them how they're ready to end racism and they want to stand with this person and that person on social media, they're not watching because they don't care, because they were never going to watch. The people you needed, you have alienated. The people you needed are not there because you told them that you didn't want them there. Now you need them, and they're nowhere to be found. So it will be interesting to see how this continues to play out, but I am all for it. I love that Disney is getting what they deserve. You don't disrespect the fans consistently like this. You don't mess up the sequel trilogy of Star Wars and not expect to have a massive fallout. And you are dealing with a massive fallout right now. Again, The Force Awakens, $2 billion. Rise of Skywalker barely breaks $1 billion. You lost 50% of your audience. You should have been hitting in-game numbers with The Rise of Skywalker, and no, it should have never been called The Rise of Skywalker. Good Lord, what a terrible, terrible, terrible title. But the third film in the sequel trilogy should have been hitting in-game numbers based on the fact that you came out of the gate so strong with Episode 7. Episode 7 should have hit those numbers, and then Episode 9 should have hit even bigger numbers. But you lost 50% of the audience. Solo lost money. You've screwed up the video game aspect of it. None of this has worked. Yes, there are good things that are in the lower level stuff. I really love the Clone Wars Season 7. I liked parts of The Mandalorian a lot, but these aren't the things that are going to turn the needle. And guess what? Here you are now with your stock dropping. And we've seen those headlines that Andor is the best Star Wars show that no one's watching. Yeah, because the people that you told them to go F themselves. And they ain't coming back no time soon. Anyway, just wanted to give a quick update on that. I know I've been out of town. I hadn't done a lot of content, but I wanted to make this video a rambling video of sorts to talk about Disney Star Wars and the position they're in. I appreciate all of you. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later.